Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Performance Link GT3 Pit Stop, where we look at everything from round two. So we haven't got any interviewees today, but we've still got an action-packed show. So we've got plenty of incidents to look over. We've also going to have a look back at a few of the incidents during the race as well. So which something we've not really done in the past, but should be interesting and entertaining to be able to see what actions or other things that people haven't protested that people have, maybe some mishaps from the drivers, so we can do them after we've done the penalties tonight. But obviously round three was round Road Atlanta, a very tricky track, as we said on the broadcast, and very undulating track. So it was really, I think it was a difficult one, really, Tom, for the drivers to contend with. We saw a lot of incidents around the obvious parts of the track, like turn number 5 and that. So, and I'm pretty sure we'll see a lot of incidents going on there. But welcome to the podcast, Tom, my sidekick and co-commentator. It was an interesting round on Sunday. Obviously, a lot of technical gremlins, so hopefully they're all sorted. But it was a great race, even though you weren't really commentating on them.
It was bloody gremlins aplenty, wasn't it? Let's be honest. So, obviously apologies for that, and we've worked very hard, and Andy's worked very hard, especially to try and get it all sorted. So, not too sure what was going on there because we used the exact same settings we've used many times before. So, no idea why it's done that. But Road Atlanta, interesting round. A lot of action, a lot of crashes, people being very naughty. It's Road Atlanta is not a very big track for this many GT3 cars, and I don't know if it's one that many people had put in too much practice time, apart from obviously your front runners. So it was a bit of a wake up call for people, and we're going to see some interesting stuff this evening, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, we'll have a look at back at them. We've got about 11 to mull over to decide where the penalties may or may not be going to, but we'll obviously get into that. But before we do, I thought, well, what can we do to have a look at other things, as we haven't got an interviewee? So let's have a look, see if I can sort this out. We can have a look at the table so far, so let's have a look at that. So obviously we've got 4 classes, so we will go through each one of the classes and say good evening, Savage, from obviously on the channel. So good evening to you, mate. Assuming that's Thomas. That must be Thomas. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Good evening, Scott. So we've said it a few times, Tom, haven't we? Really, that we've got a mix of drivers on the field, to some old from season 1, some new, and the new guys seem to be putting it to the old guys at the moment. And we can look into the pro standards here. Obviously there is 2 drop rounds to be added, and that will be added after round number 4 coming up in 2 weeks time. But the current standards at the moment, I mean, if we look at the top 3, each one of them top 3 have won a race. So we had Thomas Wangen winning round 1. We had Neil Eric Isaacson winning round 3 for a great race from his point of view. And then we had Daniel Sedgley, that epic drive in Watkins Glen. So the top 3 have all won a race. Thomas has got a second. I think Niels and Daniel will be quite close for that second because they've had it. But then you've got Scott Mokes. We haven't really talked about him a lot on the stream. He is our season 1 pro champion, but is Mr. Consistent when it comes to getting them points and chipping them points away. And he's going to be there or thereabouts at the end of the season. We can sort of see the standards at the moment. So the top 3 got a little bit of a breakaway, 41 points at the moment for Thomas. Niels is 40, Daniel's 38, and then a little bit of a step down to Scott in 4th place, who's got 29 points. But like I said, the 2 drop rounds, which a lot of the drivers have had, that are lower than the top 3, they've had incidents in the rounds. So them rounds it's almost like a false championship at the moment. It'd be a lot closer when them drop scores are put in.
The drop scores is it's something that you have to anticipate going forward through a championship, especially with the drop rounds that we have, and also the length of championship we have. It's one of those things where if you're doing any other series, you may have a couple of bad races in the beginning, but don't panic. It all, like you said, it realigns, and it comes into perspective after those drop rounds. And I believe our drop rounds are after round
4.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I thought it was round 3, but it is round 4. So,
yeah, it counts first 3 and then basically does it after the next one.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to mix things up quite a lot, and we'll see some sort of statistic balancing happening there, and that will bring things more into line with where the points are at. So, but yeah, big shake-ups all across the field. Obviously Thomas Wangan doing fantastically. I believe we have a new rookie leader as well. That was one thing I was looking at, and that's Sam Curran, I believe. So, good shout out to him. So
don't jump ahead, Tom. Don't jump ahead. We're on the pros at the moment. We'll get to
I'm excited.
The rest of
I like to look at the rookies though. It's doing good. Team Bear Poop are just they're in front in Am and rookie. I mean, it's going crazy. And in Pro-Am.
But then looking further down the pros, Michael Hooper, who was our Pro-Am winner out in season 1, has moved up now into the AMs. And you can see him there in 5th place, giving a good account of himself. We saw him in season 1, was very much mixing it with the pros, and even won an overall endurance race. And that just takes me back to Spa. How he won that, I still don't know. But it's amazing. Nikolai Thrains had a few incidents. We saw him out in Montreal challenging for the lead, had a slight incident. So, when the drop rounds do come into effect, I'm pretty sure we're going to see where or whereabouts the drivers are. And then after each round, we'll sort of see him shuffling around. But, Lance Sorensen as well. And it's a thing with, obviously, you got Thomas and Niels, who seems to be the, like Last said last week, is very much the fast drivers within that team, like the aliens as we would call them. And you've got Lass, who's does well and then in qualifying, but then sort of drops further back down the field where the races go. But Niels was doing that in the first couple of races, but something sort of switched in him in the last race, and he really. Well, he leaped on because he actually won the race. So he may have a technicals. I know he changed the cars, and a lot of drivers have sort of changed around from the Audi into the BMW. And it's going to be interesting to see how that pays out for the rest of the season, really.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat right now. All probably pretty likely. I do have a headset mic, but if the audio keeps going up and down, just let me know, and I will.
Because I can hear it.
Can you?
But it seems funky. Just make.
Yeah, you're probably right. So sorry if my voice is going up and down like a yo-yo. It's you might. Yeah.
At least you can all hear.
Sounds cracking up now, apparently.
Tom needs a neck restraint.
Savage said sounds cracking up. Okay.
Is that including my voice, or is that just Tom's? Well, look at Pro-Ams. I mean, James in season 1, and up the front, and was lucky. Had opportunities, but the start of the season paid to a little bit of that. But he's certainly setting out his stall here in the Pro-Am divisions, currently leading the way. Lee King McGee in 2nd place overall, with Alexander Scarrett there in 3rd base. But it's a lot closer in the Pro-Ams than it is in the pros at the moment. But like I said, the drop scores will come in, and basically then it will all sort of even out, I suppose. But I think James is the one to be certainly watching in that program. Same with Lee King McGee. He's had an exceptional start to the season.
Yeah, definitely Lee King. I was going to mention that a second ago, actually. Sitting in second in Pro-Am, an awfully quick driver, not far behind the Team Barefoot driver of James Logston, obviously. So he won in, oh God, my memory.
Who, James?
No, Lee.
You?
Lee win. No, Lee King McGee.
Didn't he win in Montreal?
Montreal, thank you. I was thinking, I couldn't remember. Thank you very much. Yeah, he won out in Montreal with a commanding decision there. So he's definitely my favourite at the moment for the Pro-Am Championship. So sorry, James, if you're watching. But, I think Lee might be taking the top spot for this one. So definitely watching him.
Definitely is. Is our sound still bad on the channel? You getting any? What, Tom, our man with a cam?
Yeah, I'm watching the chat at the moment, and I'm not seeing anybody say anything. So
okay,
hopefully it's sorted.
Yeah, so that's the Pro-Am division. We got some good one. Kim Andre Portland come down from Pro, come down from Pro into the Pro-Am division. Having a little bit of a blip at the start of the season. I mean, the Sim Racing Norway guys, obviously the team champions from last season that did exceptionally well. So it's
yeah, Scotty said it's all good at the moment.
It's weird, isn't it? I don't know. I don't understand why that does that. It's
it went back for about 30 seconds and then came back to okay.
Weird. That's all I can say. So yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, you got Sophia Ridgebaugh, obviously had a great race in Watkins Glen. Didn't have the best of race out last week, but she's currently sat in 7th place. But will, after the drop rounds, shoot up. But the problem is once you've had a couple of bad rounds at the start, it's very difficult then to maintain, constantly get in, because it'll just take one incident and basically that could put pay to your season if you've already got two drop score rounds, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's never nice to start a championship and then all of a sudden be panicking, thinking, oh my God, I've lost my drop rounds already. But it's just the roll of the dice, isn't it? You can end up having a couple of terrible rounds to start with, and then you can have a whole bunch of good rounds after that. It's just one of those things, really, when it comes to racing.
Certainly is. And looking further down here, you got John O'Cook, our racer. Obviously, his I rating's around about 1,200, but clearly well above a 1,200. I think he's a seal clubber, really.
Yeah, definitely.
But we sorted you out, Jono, and basically you're back up to where you probably should be. Let's have a look at the AMs.
I was going to say it's because I raced with him in the Reykjavik games. I realized that he was quicker than me, so I had to definitely go in a higher category. So easy.
Go on now.
Right into the AMs. Tom Savage obviously leading the way out at the moment for the Barefoot team, followed closely by Paul Ward, but not that closely because there is a decent drop rounds. Obviously, that's going to come into play. That will level playing field a little bit more. Maud Leclerc, that fantastic start he had at Montreal in the McLaren. Unfortunately, Watkins didn't really go his way, and still up there, still a contender. If he can sort of figure out that McLaren and get himself settled, he'll be battling through. So another one that I'm not surprised to see at the top at the moment. What is going on with sound? Can you hear me, Andy?
I can hear you, mate. It's weird why it keeps cutting in and cutting out. I'm not sure why that is. I can see everything working properly on OBS. Nothing cuts in or out. So it must be good old YouTube again. I think it's YouTube. I'm not going to blame me at all. I'm going to blame YouTube.
Yeah, but, it's really strange.
It certainly is. But Simeon obviously changed his car now, changed away from the Macca, gone over to the BMW. So it was short-lived for the McLaren drivers. But good to see Gordon Haig still in the McLaren cars.
Ah, someone said it seems to be when I start talking. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me just change this quickly.
Is it you, Tom? Is it you that messing up our broadcasts? I don't know. It's
Probably.
just because you don't want to do the commentating or the podcast sort of side of it. It's a poor show in there, Tom. I must admit.
Can you guys hear me now? Let's see how that sounds. I've just changed it to my headset mic.
We can
See if that sorts it out.
you sound a lot better, I think. But it's not as good quality as you're thinking, so you'll probably have to sort that out. Maybe put it a little bit closer to your mouth, but don't breathe into it like Darth Vader.
There you go. I'll try not to Vader it too much.
That's better. That sounds a lot better, actually.
Okay. Well, we'll see if that sorts it, and if it does, then I will be taking this microphone back and getting a different one.
I've got a spare one back there for you, mate. You know, I'll send it to you because I'm all about the giving.
I've got the same one.
I know. I'm all about the giving, mate. That's all I'm going to say. But
maybe if I have two, that'll sort it.
But it's interesting. You know, we look at Simeon Moldeklev and we highlighted him at the start of the season. Yeah, a very good driver, but is sort of prone to having the off days. We've had a chat with him as well. Obviously, a very young driver, only 16, and drives well above his age bracket. I couldn't believe he was 16 when we actually spoke to him. I haven't seen him drive on track. But, you know, if he can just keep them consistency, what I would say to Simeon is just watch Scott Mokes, because for whatever reason, Scott just chips away at the nice little points and then basically gets it. It's all good. What is going on? All back geared, and then we got a robot. Tom swapped heaven white too. Oh, maybe that's what it is. You sound like a robot now. Maybe, I don't know. But it's interesting. We've got some good drivers, and like again, as soon as them drop round scores, I think Simeon will move up further up to the front of the grid. I think we've had Simeon that's won a race. We've had Paul that's won a race. So it's going to be interesting once the drop round scores to see where they go. But looking over to the rookies, and as you said, we got a brand new leader, Sam Curran. We'll have a look at the. It's more than the free cars. It was good to have the free cars last season, and they did exceptionally well. Sold out on track. Our last season, champion there, currently in 4th place, not far off the leaders. You can see it's super close in the rankings overall. Again, it's probably all going to change around when the rookie class. It's again, I suppose it's again, isn't it? Every race, there's not one person. What is going on with this sound?
Okay.
I have to move away from OBS and try something.
What we'll do is, oh no, we can't. Can we do that? I'm just trying to think of a way that we can drop off of OBS Ninja and use.
Not without. Again, it's gone bad. What is going on with this sound? Not without setting up OBS and channels and stuff like that, isn't it? Which is a bit annoying.
Yeah. Are you running the audio through OBS Ninja? We haven't changed anything, so it just doesn't seem to make sense.
Yeah. It was fine. I mean, I can hear. I'm not. It's not sounding like a robot. We've got good stream rates. Is it YouTube? I don't know. It's got to be something, wasn't it? I suppose.
Yeah, it's really strange. I don't want people to be listening to us talk about how we can.
Let me try and close down some stuff here. See if that helps. Maybe I'm running too many stuff in the background. Who knows?
Could be.
Who knows? My mega computer should be able to handle it quite easily, but who knows?
This is where Andy closes the screen down.
No, I'm trying to make sure I don't do that. Would put it past me though. I'm probably quite close.
Crazy things have
I'm
happened.
pretty much OBS. No, I need that. That's okay. Can't exit that. Discord. I want to Discord. Right. So pretty much. Hopefully the sound come back, guys, to be able to continue. But I think we're gonna have to change from using OBS Ninja, I think, because it seems to be that. Because I don't know. Because even on OBS, when I see the audio mixer,
it's really strange. Not sure. Are we back now? Like, is the sound okay now, or is it back? Because obviously we don't wanna be wasting you guys' time if it's going in and out too much. So, but yeah, no, it's very, very strange how it's doing that at the moment. No, I can't really explain it. So, issues with it. So,
very weird. Yes, we are running the audio through.
Yeah,
through Ninja Scott.
What does it say, sir? Interesting. Right. Okay. Well, should we crack on with?
Yeah, let's do that. We can move down. See, let's get into that and see where we're at. This by magic. Look, iRacing, modern technology here. Right, let's have a look at these. Try and get through some of these. Okay, so we got race 1, Stefan Albanese against Simeon Mordeklev. Where are we?
Good to know, Torben. Thank you. He said Tom got very much more discerned.
Let's see. Let's look at this. Can you see that?
Certainly can.
That's a racing instant. For me, I give you that. The space on the inside to make that move can big. I think this is just wrong person.
That's interesting. So the guy said only the music is good, all voice is really crackling. It's like half the voice is coming through at half.
It's got to be OBS Ninja. Let me see if I can add. See if I can add that and see how I sound then, guys. If it's
From the evidence I've seen, Andy came through perfectly the whole race stream except when Tom or guests were on, and that would be because we're using OBS Ninja during the stream.
no, it's completely different setup. Use voice meter. I think we just were plagued with problems. I think I found what the issue was at the end. I think that was my issue. So let me just add this mic in and see if that makes any difference, guys. Right, so I've added my mic in now. Do I sound any different?
We'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see if I sound a lot better now, guys. And if I do, then it's OBS Ninja that's not very good. It's not something I would normally use. It was the way the stream was set up.
All good now.
All
just
good
came
now.
back to okay again just before you added the mic in. So
How's-
has the mic in made any difference? That is the question.
We will see. We'll carry on then. So yeah, well, it's going to be this incident we're looking at on stream now. It's one, it's not the right driver, so it's going to be a nil and void. But it is to me, it's a racing incident because there's opportunity to make it. There is a thing here. We can't penalise anyone for a slight little contact there. There is contact. But it's a door rub rather than a hit into, in my eyes. Do you agree there, Tom?
Then
Yeah. Okay. So, but anyway, because you said it was Simeon Molokalev, unfortunately, it is not. Okay. So the second one is Stefan Fonzi on Sophia Ridgepath. Lap 34.
okay, so you channel to hear what it sounds like, and it sounds incredibly slow, robotic. So
Let me. What is that?
the bit rate can't keep up. The audio bit rate can't keep up.
So, what's it like now with I put a audio capture in, guys?
Yeah, I just listened back to it and it was the same. I'm gonna drop off this
Okay.
Discord one, Andy. Oh, Scott moved.
So if I wonder if I pause. Let me just try it. I do apologise, guys. Again, it's so annoying. So where is OBS Ninja? Let's try and find it now. I'll put it. There we go. Let's have a look at this. You don't see it. Let me experiment. Use it to what?
Sorry about all this, guys. We're just trying to we'll get it sorted out. It's no idea what's going on here. Must be an OBS Ninja issue. Sure, why it's doing that.
I've lost Andy. I can't hear Andy for some reason.
No, I muted myself to see if that made any difference.
Right, okay. Gotcha. adjusts the bit rate
What, in OBS Ninja?
in OBS Ninja. Yeah.
It's like a how. I'm gonna make this as a how-to video.
Yeah. Well, we'll end up doing that, won't we, by the end of this?
Yeah. How do you do that though? Pro audio. This can guest to feedback echo. Settings. Audio. What's the gain? There's gain. Frustrating.
Yeah, really strange. If you click in the very top right corner, Andy,
In
it
what?
shows you the megabits per OBS Ninja.
In the top right.
Yeah, you see you've got the picture of the little head ear. Do you see that?
Yeah, I think so. 40.
If you click on the little green arrow, it should bring up a drop down.
These at the top. I'm not seeing that, mate. I'm not seeing it right.
Well, what?
So I can see the full green bars and everything like that. We're all green, which is the frustrating bit.
Yeah, it's got to be something to do with the OBS Ninja side of
It's
it.
gotta be on it.
Yeah.
How could I sort the sound out? Because they say that, so it's very much a sound thing.
Yeah, because the music itself
No,
is not being played through OBS
through
Ninja. Is it?
OBS.
That's not being.
So only the webcam and the voice and the audio's through OBS.
Can you not just add 2 audio channels to OBS?
And then we can mute ourselves on.
I can do mine, but how would I put your mic in? I can do my mic.
I would come through on your desktop audio.
Oh, here we go. I'm going to get into the desktop audio settings and all that. This is where we get it on. Let me...
Just bear with us, guys. Really sorry about this. Like,
back to... See there? So we got back to good again. So we're now back to good, which is really weird.
yeah, it comes and goes.
Insane. I don't know. Crazy. So annoying. Right, we'll see how we can get on. We can look at these. So this one's no further incidents. So we'll try and crack on. Right, Stefan Fonzie. Stefan Fonzie. Can't find him. Where is he? Albanese. Oh, there he is. Lap 34. Okay. Runs me from the river without any hesitation. We need to play 3 laps. In fact, I can see OBS do some weird, wonderful things there with the audio. We sound I think we are, because I can see that the audio mix is lagging behind when we're talking.
Savage said, better to sort the technical issues while they are happening than just sort them out. If you guys don't mind, but it's just obviously, you know, we don't want to waste.
I'll tell you what, let's out in the background and then restart the stream to try and get the sound, try and take it off OBS. On the screen, go through the thing. So I'm trying to go through Discord or something. So we'll in a couple of minutes.
Keyboard and just put it on my keyboard tray in front of me.
Well, you just need to watch the screen, don't you?
Yeah.
So I must be streaming now. It'll probably take a little while to get back on, won't it? There we go. Let's have a look.
Just refreshing the page.
There we are. We're back live with you guys. Hopefully now the sounds a lot better. We've decided to take OBS off and yeah, go with an alternate means. So hopefully we sound okay. Do you say something,
Yeah,
Tom?
fingers crossed. Let us know if you can hear us, please. Please let us know if there is sound. And if not, we'll try again.
There should be sound.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Scott.
Are we okay, Scott?
Hello.
Do we sound okay? Why am I reversing? Stop. Do we sound like non-aliens? I can see now that the audio mixer looks like it's working properly.
Sounds good.
Brilliant.
You get to see my microphone doing this kind of action.
That's so wrong on so many levels. Oh my word! I'll tell you what, it's really tested me to see if I can do this. You know, I'm learning a lot, so I really appreciate you sticking around and bearing with us. But now we know not to use OBS Ninja when we're doing our podcasts, because we don't use OBS Ninja when we're using the stream. So yeah, maybe looking at doing something different. But at least you can hear us now, so that's all good. So let's get back to these protests. So we just looked at Stefan Fonzi with Sophia Ridgepath. Obviously, he's put lap 34, and unfortunately in the rules, and we've said it before, is that you need to make sure that you are putting down the lap where your incident is on your car, so we can find it. Otherwise, we're trying to find the needle in the haystack. So unfortunately, we can't see it. Is it? So unfortunately, because the lap's wrong, we can't give the penalty. But I'm just going to quickly look to see if it is the previous lap. So where is it? Turn into turn 1. Oh, wait a minute. So is it lap 33? Here we go. Turn 1. Yes, it is. But I've got to go by the rules because we said it is. It's not the right lap that you put in. It's 33. But we will look at it.
Ooh. Oh, damn. That's some contact.
Yeah, so as we previously said, you know, it's the responsibility of the car behind. So this would have been a level 2 penalty for Sophia because it's down to the car behind. Even though there's different classes, I mean, you've got a pro am driver, and a rookie driver. And guys, I don't know if you've noticed, but you see right onto the back of the car here, these 2 points here. Let's have a look at Sophia's to see if you can actually see it. So when you're in the cockpit, do you see here? You got 2 chevrons on either side. Every rookie car has them on them to signify that these guys are the rookie class, which are the lower end of the iRacing scale. So therefore, you've got to pay a little bit more attention because they're not going to be as fast as you going around the track. So this would have been easily a level 2 penalty, but unfortunately, because the lap was given as 34 not 33, we can't give the penalty.
Yep.
So
unfortunately.
So, but obviously that is a good one there. I don't know if you guys knew that already about these chevrons on the back. You see them, every single rookie car does have these chevrons. So it's a good indication to you guys that that is a rookie car. Give them a little bit more space. Don't try and, you know, expect the unexpected is probably the word of the day there. Okay, next one. David Gill on Simeon Motorclub. David Gill. So Sophia, you got away with one there. Look at lap number 4. And what I would suggest, guys, as well, is when you're doing your lap, don't use any timing software or anything. Use the iRacing replay. If you haven't got the replay, in our folder in the useful link channel, there I've linked to my Google Drive, and I update the race, either the day of the race or the day after, that you can obviously download and have a look at. So, Simeon Motorclub, lap 4, turn 11. Simeon ran into the rear of me on the iRacing line. Let's have a look. Turn 11, that's second to last corner, isn't it? Because 10A, 10B. So if we go to the next lap, lap 5, and then reverse it back. Ooh, it should be here. Oh, there you go. Look at that. As if by magic. Let's have a look. Alan, I'll answer that question in a minute that you just posed.
Yeah, I was just about to jump on that one, but yeah, all good. Netcode? It was a hell of a dash around, wasn't it, considering the contact? It's over a crest as well, though.
Can you see it from... Chase. Let's move the camera. Oh, wow. Looks like it is going to be a netcode. Yeah. It is that they're close, but you can sort of see if we slow it down, they're coming up to the crest, going over the top. There's still a gap there. There's still a gap there. Still a gap there. Still a gap there. Watch Simeon's back end. They're close, but they've not touched, and Simeon goes. No damage to the front of the car. No damage to the back of the Porsche.
Can you zoom in a bit more, Andy?
I can do whatever you want me to do, Tom. How's that?
Steady on.
Might be better from this angle, actually. There's no contact. It's close, but it's no contact. There's no damage to the back of the BM. There's no damage to the back of the Porsche. And Simeon just basically, you can sort of see it. Really weird. Let's watch it in real time.
Is that definitely netcode? It would be the tiniest netcode ever. I think because they're going over the crest, that's why, like, they're changing direction over the crest, so both the cars are light and loose at that point when the contact happens.
Oh, wait a minute. Just watch Simeon's wheel here.
Yep.
It flicks to the right. So if I slow it down, so pretty straight, coming over the crest. There, do you see that movement there? Where it,
Yeah.
It came up and over there.
Yeah, I did, yeah. Looks like contact to me.
It's the smallest of contacts, but it's a savage outcome,
I think it's,
isn't it?
yeah, I think it is a savage outcome, but if you've got to think about the tire model in iRacing and everything, the suspension would be loose. The suspension would be incredibly loose there, and that would, yeah, that's contact. If they weren't going over the crest like that and they were just on the flat, then you might not necessarily see that kind of response, but that's looking like contact.
I just want to have a look. Does David change his speed because of this car in front? Who is that car in front? Is it? So that's Thomas Savage. There we go. I'm not saying it's anything to do with you, Tom. I just want to see if the change of speed. Let's have a look. So see his speed. I don't know if you can see that, Tom. So 131, 132, 133, 34, 35, 36, 37, 40. Gaining speed. He's gaining speed. 45, 46. 47. No, it's not even a change of speed. The speed is pretty constant from David as well. Like, it's not like he's put the brakes on or something because of the car in front. That's obviously the closing speed because you got the draft as well. Okay, this is not going to be. Annoying, the bridge literally just gets in the way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Chase.
If you rotate the camera around from that angle, Andy.
Wow, come on. Where'd you want it to?
Yeah, it's about perfect. Back it up from there. And full speed. Yeah, it's almost as if the closing rate. It's a very unfortunate one because if you were on the flat, that wouldn't have made a blind bit of difference. But look how severe that hill is. You know, when it's quite a severe hill. It's basically the contact was just at the worst possible point.
So what? So let's see.
Sammy Talik said, I think the BMW is just too aggressive in that spot. You got to give a bit more space in that spot with two cars in front. I don't disagree with that. I mean, it's obviously it's hard racing. You know, you want to be as close as you possibly can, but how close is close? You know, you don't want to be so close as contact. And unfortunately, it looks like it was so close there was contact.
It's unfortunate that David couldn't get back out on track, because I think he tried to. So it doesn't look like there's any damage. I think he's just driving through. Is he just driving through the pits? Yeah. I think because where it happened, so he's spinning here. I think he tries to not go into the pits. You can see it turning and realise he can't, and just says, you know what, I'm going to go through the...
Oh, that's really unfortunate.
It's a hard one to call what this would be. It's not like you're obvious, like the one we just watched with Sophia. That is obviously blatantly not managing your speed and basically closing up really quick and then hitting the back of the car. This is different. I think this is different because it's sort of racing, and it's like the smallest of margins. But obviously both cars are affected by it. What's your thinking, Tom?
It's a very... It's literally just the worst possible place to hit somebody. You know, because you're going over the crest and you're actually contacting somebody into a high-speed section, over a crest. The back of the car is incredibly light in front of you. And you can even see by the BMW itself rotates very quickly because it's in the same sort of spot on track. It's definitely put a big hindrance onto the Porsche, though. You know, I mean, it's not... More due care needed to be taken, really. You shouldn't be that close at that point in the track. It's... You know, there's a fine line between racing really hard and then being so close that you could cause an incident, you know?
There is. So...
I mean, it has to be... Every incident is different, but obviously we've got to try and keep it as close to the letters of the law as we possibly can.
Yeah. So what are you thinking? What, level 2?
Yeah, I mean, if it was anywhere else on the track, it probably would have just ended in either a level 1 or probably, to be honest, it probably would have ended in nothing. But the fact that it's happened there, it's knocked the other car completely off track, and he's also had to go through the pits, so it's no different than smacking the wall hard or something, is it? You know, it's...
Okay.
Yeah.
In the aid of consistency, then, he's obviously hit into the back of this car. Car's spun around. He's lost multiple positions. Obviously, had to go through the pit lane. And as I think in the law, in level 2, it says that if you lose point... Okay, so we'll say level 2 then. It's a close one, guys. It's the worst possible part of the track for that to happen, I think. But it's obviously knowing the track and where probably the best place are. It's really difficult over that crest of that hill. When you're going up over the crest of the hill, if you're that close there is that lump at the top, isn't there? The hump at the top of it that can push cars off if they're super close. Okay, we'll go with that one then, mate. Hard one, though. I think that was a hard one.
Probably the hardest one we've had all season, I think.
Yeah. Michael Hooper on Lance Sorensen, lap 22. Turn 10, last chicane. So if I go to lap 22, 23, and then reverse back. No, this one. So turn 10. So be 10B, I think, the last chicane. So okay, so this is lap 22. So he's put down. Turn 10, last chicane, dangerous blocking by reacting to my move. Had to lift to avoid a crash. So I think this is almost like a carbon copy of the one we saw last week with, was it Tom Savage and Who was the other one? The other driver. I'm trying to think who it was. Remember the one we're on about in Watkins? I think it was Tom Savage and was it Simeon?
Yes, with Simeon, yeah.
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 The problem is here, so I can see what he's sort of saying here. So he's coming down here, getting the slipstream.
Are they the same class?
Yes, they are. They're both pros.
Are they and they're fighting for a position?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Mm.
Right, the problem is here, he's not in the braking zone yet. That is, I think that is it's possibly bordering on rude, because you can see here he's going down the inside and then cuts back on the inside and then last covers it off. But now they're in the braking zone. So if he did that in the braking zone, then as per the rules, that is definitely a penalty. But he's not in.
It's not, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's not a penalty. The only reason I say that, you know, in my opinion, is he's not doing anything that I personally wouldn't do. I mean, if I saw a guy making the move, I would follow him across like that. There's no contact or anything, and he's left enough room on the outside for the other car to brake. He's just being, the car in front is just being very clever about it. They're taking up as much of the middle of the track as they possibly can, and then they don't make a double move in the braking zone. So he's just, as the Porsche behind goes across, he now just sort of like drifts over with the Porsche, which is what you would do to sort of maintain a bit of presence there, you know? I mean, it
is going across the blocking. I suppose you could say that he has changed his line because he goes over. But
can we see it? Can we see it a bit closer? Can we go in a bit closer, please?
Yeah, 2 seconds. I suppose you could even class that as his one move. He's not swerving, so he's following a line and then moves, but it's before the braking zone. So there he's moved, which obviously is very close, I suppose, but between Michael. You want to go closer in?
Yes, please. I want to see how. Yeah, no, perfect. That camera's perfect. I just want to see how much distance was between the Porsche and the Beamer in front when he makes the move. I thought from the far distance it looked like there was a relative amount of a bit of a gap. Yeah, no, that's different from that angle, definitely.
Yeah, literally cut him up.
He cut him up. Yeah, the Porsche had the run. You know, it wasn't. No, it's yeah.
So
that's not
quite
right.
It's not in the braking zone, so it's not a level 3. But there is a blatant block there. So I'm just getting the rule out here because I want to be clear on this and obviously refer to the rules as they're written. Driver infractions. There we go. So.
Yeah, we're not disagreeing with you guys in the chat. It's just from the further behind perspective, it looked a lot different. It looked like there was more gap than there actually was. Yeah. When you look at it from the side perspective, you can see that the distance between the two cars was so tight that is a block. It's not. So you know,
we'll show it here. We'll show the two angles to show the difference of why looking at different angles makes it really good. So this is from the. In fact, let's do it from the back, from the far chase. And you look at this and you think it's not too bad. He's coming across. He has got the slipstream, so he's got the overspeed. Comes back across and it's across there. So that doesn't look too bad. Thinking, yeah, okay, he's just trying to defend his line.
Yeah, it's a bit on the rude side, but it's not penalty worthy at that point.
But then if you look at the chase, so a closer side angle, watch the gap between the two cars when the car in front changes position. So if you do it at normal speed, so here you'll see him come to the right now, and then he comes across, get the inside, and then comes cut right across. Literally, if Michael hadn't done some evasive action, Michael would have smacked into the back of him, and that's not what we really want to be about on racing out on track. You know, the problem is that Lass is a sitting duck, to be honest, to Michael. Certainly down this long straight. It's a long straight that you're going to have the overcut on him. Yeah, that's just too close. If there was a gap, say like this sort of gap, okay, but there's not. So you can look here, he's gaining, he's coming across and his little gap, and then all of a sudden, bang, coming across and blocking him. And I think you can see Michael's car sort of swerve. So when he's coming across here, he's literally, oh no, brake in, and then you can see the back end lift.
That was borderline race ending.
Yeah,
for both cars.
It is.
Did the Porsche brake at all? If he
yes.
didn't, then he's got balls of steel.
I don't know actually. Can't see actually. So let's have a look. Does he brake? No.
No, but he does. He's get
severe.
quite stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he swerves. Yeah.
Okay. Let me just. So, stage 3 penalty can be awarded for a driver for driving reckless, such as rejoining the track in an unsafe manner. So we saw that last week. Brake checking, there's no brake checking, he's basically moved across. Causing a collision due to attempting to drive in an excessively damaged car. Or going late into a corner and causing a collision. Stage 2 is awarded for causing extensive damage to another car in the form of loss of position or time, changing racing line in an aggressive manner under braking. You could probably put it down to that one, couldn't you? So, sort of like a level 2.
Change racing line. Yeah, it's a level 2. If that had been race ending, it would be a level 3 all day. Or if there had been contact, it would be a level 3 all day. But yeah, level 2. Looking at the letter of the law for what we have in the championship, that's level 2.
Yeah.
It's crazy how it didn't look. It just looked a bit on the rude side from the other angle. You know, that's why,
though, isn't it? This is why we do this, to look at multiple angles to get the true picture of where we're at, guys. You know, because if you look at one angle, it could look okay. You look at another one, and you see the true effect of it, sort of there. So level 2. As we keep saying, guys, you do have the option to appeal. You know, put your appeal in, the reason why you're appealing it, and it goes to not us two. It goes to an independent panel, and they look at the incidents of iRacing drivers, and then they will say if they uphold our penalty or not. Okay, so the next one is Michael Cody. There's Mr. Cody. There he is. Michael Cody on Nicholas Gronstrom, lap 41. In fact, just before I get too far ahead and I forget to answer the question, who was it from? I forgot who it was from. Sander, was it? No, Alan, wasn't it? So Alan asked why Sophia didn't get a penalty. Because in the rules, when you're putting in a protest, it clearly states that you are to put your lap where the incident happened. And if it's not that incident, that lap, that corner, then basically it's a no further action because it's not the right. So what we've said before in season 1, and obviously we said previous to this round, is that you need to make sure that it's your lap that you're physically on, because we're looking from the perspective of your car. So it enables us to find the incident quickly and look at it. If we're having to spend a lot of time trying to find the incident, we were lucky enough to find it was the lap before, but by the letter of the law, like we're trying to do, is that it's a no further action because it's not the correct lap that was put in. So that's the reason, Alan, why Sophia didn't get a level 2. If it was the right lap that who was it? It was Stefan had put in, then basically she would have got a level 2 because she hit into the back of him quite hard coming up turn 1. So that's the reason why Sophia has got away with the level 2, is because Stefan didn't put the correct lap. He put lap 34 and not 33. It seems really pedantic, but when you've got so many protests to look at, it's got to be right, the information we're looking at. Otherwise, we could spend all night trying to find the incidents out on track. If you've got 3 or 4 of them, and some of them are 2 or 3 laps, where do you draw the line? So that's why we say make sure that if you're putting in a protest, it is of your lap on the iRacing platform and not on something like STK or Race Labs or any sort of add-on that you use the iRacing. I think it states that as well.
It was the perfect example going back the other week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Somebody said, oh, it's on lap 10, and then it turned out it was lap 22 or something. So we ended up spending 15 minutes trying to find this one incident. If we had to do 15 minutes over 9 incidents, it would just get unmanageable. Yeah. So, you know, if you're that cross, make sure you check the lap.
Yeah. Check the rules, guys. Right, into turn 4. So this will be coming down through the S's, won't it? Broke on the driving line of a fast corner, causing a 4X. Should have stayed on the driving line through turn 5, and I would have passed him on the straights. Let's have a look at this. So this obviously, this must be a lapping car, isn't it? Look here. Oh. Okay, so this is probably a classic one for me for what the rules say about. So this is position 31. Oh no, it is for position. So it's not an overtake. Why did you do that? So 298. Okay, so it's an AM and a rookie. So this is per position, it's not for lapping.
Yeah, so basically the rookie's thought, oh, I'll get out of his... The rookie's tried to do the right thing, but unfortunately just done it sort of at the wrong time. But it's hard to know when you're a rookie, right? Because that's when you're going at a decent pace, even at amp pace, there's a very severe amount of movement in the car there where you are sort of on the limit coming downhill into that turn. So he's tried to do him a favor, but unfortunately not.
To me, I think this needs to be applauded for what he's trying to do. And we've said this before, there's no point fighting with classes a different one. This isn't a blue flag incident, so it isn't keep on the racing line to do it. I think what he's doing, and it's probably quite good to have a look at it to educate the guys. What Michael has said, I think is right, is that you almost want to class this as a blue flag. If you're going to try and let a faster car through, or a higher class car, or even a faster car, because you could have somebody of a lower class, this is particularly good track, and then basically he's going to be fast on that. So I think for me this is a classic what to do in this sort of situation, and probably the right course of action for Nicholas would be to carry on, wait to the top of the fifth corner at the top here, and then basically let him pass on the straight. I think what he's tried to do is move over off the racing line up here to let Michael through, but like you said, was a bit. He got onto the brakes, probably trying to. I think the thing is as well, there's not a lot of damage caused to Michael's car. It doesn't look like there was a little tap there, wasn't there? Coming through, so I think it'd be harsh if we give a penalty in my opinion.
For trying to do the right thing.
Trying to do the right thing, but I think it's good to educate guys that if we have this in the future and you've got this incident where you've got a faster class, another class, the rookie class in front is trying to do the right thing and let him by, is just do it at the right point. You know, you could see here, if he had carried on, Mike, see, he probably thought because the speed was closing that Michael might have gone down the inside anyway, so gave him the line. But just try and stay on the racing line, and then it's the responsibility of the car behind to make that passing move. And they should show the respect as well to say, right, I'm not going to pass him in a treacherous part of the track that you wouldn't try to pass somebody, which is down through these S's. So I'm going to wait till the next corner and hopefully he'll get out of the way. And then if you do that, it's sort of amicable, I would say.
I just want to say that was a cracking little battle there, though, to maintain the position for the Audi just after at the bottom of the hill. Just play it. Watch this. The Beamer comes on here. Does bloody well there.
That's a brave
because that
move.
curve is sketch at the best of times. So
Shamlapon.
did very well there to maintain that.
Shamlapon. Is it Shamlapon? I'll have to ask him his name. I'm probably butchering his name and probably butchering quite a few names. I think, as somebody said in the chat, that's you getting initiated with me being on the comms, because I'm not very good when it comes to European names, I suppose. So all I can do is apologise.
Yeah.
Whisper me how to pronounce it and I'll get it right.
I'm completely agreeing with basically all the comments that are coming through here. I think the lesson here for rookies is that this is not a good place to let people by. Even in multi-class, I would not be letting the faster class pass there. Very true. If you're letting somebody through, maintain your line unless it's a long straight, then you can move over way before the braking zone. Very true. Higher class should always be aware and be more cautious of a lower class, as they might not be as experienced as the higher class. All completely true things. As you guys all know, it's very lucky to have no contact there.
Yeah.
As you all know, racecraft is one thing that takes a long time to perfect. It's not something that, as a rookie, you can just gain in 5 minutes, because you generally only learn the really good racecraft from either being working your way up to a higher I rating, which obviously the rookies aren't, or being in bloody Mazdas in the beginnings, trying to work your license and work your points up. And we all know what Mazdas are like. It's a nightmare. So these guys are just learning as they go, trying to figure out what's the best places, what's not. So, I applaud the driver in front. What's their name? Sorry, Andy, the driver, the Beamer.
Nicholas Gonstrom, this one.
Oh, it's Nicholas, is it? Okay, yeah. So, I applaud Nicholas there for trying to do the right thing. It's just, I can't see a penalty for that.
No,
honestly,
I can't.
The Audi doesn't lose position, and it's just
again, guys. Point out these two chevrons are on the back of the rookie's car. Just be aware of them out on track. I don't know if you drivers knew about that, but they are on every single rookie car at the back here. Very obvious to see, as we saw in there. Is just give that little bit of distance. I think, like you said, Tom, the learning for this is stay on your line. Just carry on your race if you're in a part of a track like this, and then basically let off the accelerator coming up through turn number 10. So, and obviously one for the faster drivers is, although I know you're fighting for position, you've got to respect that the driver in front of you may not be at the ability, like Tom said, and understand the racecraft, and you may spook them if you're being really aggressive trying to overtake and that. So in this sort of instance, I'll probably say use the rule of the blue flag if you want to move over. Is carry on your racing line, carry on your speed, and then the next straight, just ease off the acceleration to make it an easy pass for the driver behind. Both drivers know then what you're going to do. But yeah, it's probably a bit of naivety from Nicholas to try and let Michael through on that side. So I'm
just looking at the YouTube chat. Craft, I mean, you can protest these if you want to, so we can all learn from it. I obviously wouldn't protest it if it was a pro on a pro-am. something like that, that's not going to make sense really. But if it's on a rookie or potentially even an AM driver, if it really is warranted, you're more than welcome to put in a protest. We'll use it as a learning experience.
Yeah.
It's a good thing for people to be able to see these, understand them, and if we do have rookies watching, they can understand what's gone wrong or why something's happened, or we just want to educate everybody. And this is the main reason why we do this podcast. We don't want people to look at the penalty sheet, us to just write a quick 5-word answer out, and then nobody understand why they've either received a penalty or not. So it's much better, we feel, to do it this way, despite the audio problems. And and we can let people. Oh, it's all fixed now. It's fine. It's fine. We'll just bury that in the past. It'll be fine.
Yeah. It is exactly that, guys. It takes a lot of time for us out of our evening to do all these, but I find them really beneficial. Like exactly you're saying there, is that this sort of incident that we're watching now is benefit to all the rookie drivers and all other drivers that might have done what Nicholas did there, to know that, okay, I can see now if I do that, I'm going to possibly cause an incident. I'll keep on the racing line, and then basically on the next straight I'll just ease off and let the driver through that come in from behind. So I think it's a good education overall, isn't it? Right, let's move swiftly on then. It's Michael Cody again on Shamrock. I think it's the same. It's the same one. So then it's that incident with literally, or that bit with just this bit.
That's just fantastic battling.
I think it is as well.
Because the beamer hits the curb on the inside, it throws the BMW out across the track slightly. There's minimal contact, and I can't see anything in that.
Wait a minute.
Unless anybody else.
It's later on. It's down here. It's down turn number 10.
Then I retract my previous statement, and we will look at turn 10.
Let's have a look at that. But that was good racing beforehand. That was worth showing that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Let's have a look at this.
Yeah, that's also a good point, Krav. Yeah, also a good point. Every league is different. We try and be as transparent as we possibly can, and that's the whole purpose of doing this. And we want to try and keep it as close to the letter of the law as possible. You can report yourself, Jono, for a lack of skill. Yeah, that's fine. If you just message the team principal. Oh wait, that's us.
That's us.
That's us. Yeah. If you just message us, we'll give you a telling off on your own behalf.
You're fired.
Do you see what Krav just wrote in the chat?
What?
I'm reporting a lack of wing. Oh, very good.
Right, so let's have a look at this one. So it's sort of off the racing line, trying to give the space, coming back in, and then jump on, obviously hits the back of him. So he's got the proper racing line here, but again, guys, it's the responsibility of the car behind to make a pass, because you can sort of see he's offline here. If we look probably from,
can we go BMW cockpit?
that's what. Read my mind, mate. Yeah, look. Right,
wow.
Full speed.
Yeah, I mean, the Audi had his brakes on. I think if the Audi hadn't have gone as much over the grass as he did, because I think the Audi's actually sliding.
I think he cut he obviously, he wasn't on the ideal racing line for that 10B, because he was right on the inside, so he was naturally going to be slower anyway, wasn't he?
Yeah, agreed. And Jono, that's fine. You're welcome to come to my house and use my rig for the races as I am commentating.
Well, sort of commentating. I'll put that in there.
Well, yeah, I couldn't commentate from the deepest dark depths of Wales. Okay,
It's no excuse, mate.
Yeah.
You know, if you sign up to a
it's not.
league, you got to be committed to the league, and that goes to the commentators.
if I sign up, I like it.
Jesus. So, unfortunately, it's a level 2 in my eyes, because you did have room on the outside to give him a bit more space. You saw, for me anyway, you saw in the cockpit, when you go on the cockpit view again, you can see him on the right hand side. Now my screen's only small, you guys have got like triples, that would be a bit more evident on the screen. You can see him there, you can see him there, you'd probably still be able to see him because he's alongside you. And then you can start to see him coming back up the inside here. There, you can see him there. You can already see him. You've not hit him. You could have opened your steering and gone a little bit wider out of the corner in my eyes. So, unfortunately, it's miscontrol.
The trouble is the BMW has thought that he's thinking to himself that he's cut the corner, given the Audi plenty of space, so he's done the right thing there. He's assuming that the Audi is now going to be bombing off in front of him because the Audi has the inside line. So he's tried to maintain the speed to keep with the Audi, but because the Audi then gets a bit loose and doesn't accelerate as much as it should, then the BMW makes contact. But at the same time, like you said, it's the responsibility of the car behind to give more room. If he hadn't have cut the apex as tight as he did, that accident probably wouldn't have happened.
So, yeah, exactly. Because if you look at your triples and we draw a line literally across the screen here, you'll still see that this car is in front. You know that he's messed up this corner because he's going to have to go really tight onto it, so lose a lot of speed. So, and this again probably comes down to a little bit of racecraft, because these two drivers are AM drivers. So it's not like they're the pros. You know, in that you've got the outside line to get the smoother line, to get the faster line on the outside. I think the Audi as well, if you look at where he is and where he goes into the corner, he's super tight, having to go on the brakes. You're not on the brakes. You're on the brakes now, and then you're off the brakes, and then you hit into the back of him. If, and this obviously is great in hindsight looking at this, is if we slow it right down, you can see the driver there. You can just come to this outside line and take a more line to take more of this curb outside here, then you would have overtaken him going over the crest of this hill, because he would have been so slow off that corner. But unfortunately, you try to cut in too much into the corner and into the apex, and therefore that's where the contact was made. So it's down to this driver to make sure that he gives the room for the driver in front to gain his speed up. That's my take on it. I don't know what yours is, mate.
I completely agree.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. That's a pretty black and white, that one.
Okay. We'll see.
Yeah, the BMW's gone for the apex to. Thanks, TC. The BMW's gone for the apex to try and carry as much speed as possible, thinking that the Audi is in front, but it's a bit of a risky assumption, and it's not turned out the way he wanted it to.
Right. Scotty Mokes on Sammy Hendricks.
Ooh, a pro incident.
Lap 39. Lapped car, not yielding. Caught them on lap 38. Held up on lap 38. Cost me a lot of time. Can the blue flag rules be talked about and made clear to classes? It sure can, Scott. It sure can. Okay, so let's have a look. Lap 39. So is that? I think that is, yeah. So let's have a watch.
What class is the car in front?
I think he's a rookie. No, he's an am. Okay, so so I just
He
pause
should
it.
be letting him past here.
Yeah. So basically, the rules for a blue flag is by the second straight, you are to let the faster driver through, or the driver with the blue flag coming through. So Sammy did perfectly well in my eyes. Even just looking at this, I haven't looked at previous and how long this is behind, but just looking at it from here, or from basically back here, so I suppose that is probably around about a second. So okay, we won't take this as a second, but this could be a second, this gap. Only Sammy knows how close behind this car is. So you can sort of see here coming down over the start finish. So this is a straight. That is with 1 second in my eyes, I think. So that's one corner.
Yeah, I'd agree.
You haven't yielded, so you've got to the next straight to yield. Now you're not gonna. He's doing perfectly well here. He's staying on the driving line. It's not a straight. It's a technical part of the circuit. Scott's doing the perfect thing here and not pressurizing him, giving him space to be able to do. This is the second straight now, and this is where the lapped car should be coming off the accelerator. As you can see there, Scott's trying to make the pass, but can't make the pass again. And then this is the third straight coming up, or it could even be classed as the second straight, depending on the time difference between the two for that start finish line. But definitely by this straight here, Sammy in front should be easing off to let Scott pass easily without any undue course of attention. So you can see here coming down into the corner now is going to put Scott under a lot of pressure of what to do. Has to make a dive down the inside to make that move, and that is what we're trying to avoid, guys, is this sort of incident here. This could be a race ender for one, the pro in front, and two, you being the faster car. Because if you come across, so we'll just watch this at half speed. If you watch there, if you had come across now and hit into him, that would be a race ending for both of you. So that's the reason why the blue flag rule is saying within 2 corners is that the lapped car in front needs to... We had this discussion, I think it's been discussed after Watkins as well. We had a few incidents in Watkins, you know.
Yeah.
You don't have to literally brake on the straight. We're not saying that at all. What we're saying is come off the accelerator a little bit, like 90% off the accelerator. The car behind, so Scott in this occasion, would have your slipstream anyway, would see the fact that you've come off your accelerator because he'll start closing really quick and able to make the move. As soon as he's alongside you and in front of you, you can go back to full throttle, tuck up behind the driver, get a bit of a slipstream, and you probably lose about 0.2 of a second on that lap for doing that. But what you're doing is making it super safe for you and the car behind that's basically coming up behind you. So hopefully, and Scott, please, if that's if that explains what you were trying to make, but and hopefully to the rest of the drivers that it's clear. Within 2 straights of a car being within, is it half a second? I think it's within a half a second, isn't it, in the rules?
Yeah.
Within half a second, you are to let off on by the next 2 straights, and if not, then that yields a level 1 penalty. Blue flags. Okay, here it is. Drivers should maintain their normal racing line where there are drivers who are approaching to lap them. Do not change your line when a lapping car is approaching. And we saw that there through the S's coming down after turn number 1 that Sammy didn't change. When the driver behind closes within 1 second, it's not half a second, it's within 1 second of the driver ahead, the driver ahead must lift off the throttle on one of the next 2 straights before the braking zones in order to help facilitate the pass. If you do not yield, a stage 1 penalty will be applied. And this is exactly why we do that, because Scott has to dive down the inside into this corner. So the passing move is being made now in the braking zone, which is what we're trying to avoid, to make sure that we're not taking out each of the cars. So hopefully that's sort of explained the blue rules, and everyone's happy with that. It's written in the rules. Have a look in there. Number 6, driver infractions, has got all the rules and the penalties, which is what we use for when we're doing. So if you haven't read it, you can. But as per the rules, mate, that is a level 1.
I concur.
You concur. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Also, I also just want to do a shameless plug. You know, if you guys enjoy watching these streams and everything, please give us a like and think about a subscribe. I know it's the typical rubbish that every person says that's on YouTube, but it really does help us get more notice on YouTube and grow the channel and all that jazz. So I do appreciate it. You know, it does help us stay motivated and keep wanting to produce the content for everybody. So thank you for that, and thank you for all the time watching, and we really appreciate the comments. So also, Dean Mokes, we will take a second to appreciate the livery. It does look very nice.
It does.
That 1 second.
Well, you get another second, yeah, because we're looking now at Paul Joseph Clist. So
Oh, well, there you go.
there you go. You get an added double exposure there. So we got Paul Joseph Clist on Stefan Fonzi. I love that. That's an awesome name. If that's how it's pronounced, it's awesome. What's that?
Yeah, Stefan's come and joined us from Next Gen.
Next gen.
Yeah.
Something wrecking dive bomb, and I'm taking a little damage and losing a position after contact. Lap 1. So
I really wanted to see PJC win the rookies. Is it just me? I wanted to see him win the rookies this year. Or this season, should I say.
It's still very early, mate. Do you know what I mean? Still very early.
I know, but I'm excited. He was good last season, so I'm rooting for him this time. Ooh, Banzai.
Oh.
That's either the greatest move I've ever seen, or
It can go one way. It can go one of two ways, can't they?
Yeah, by that point, it's not going to go the way he wants it to. Tom Savage said we can also appreciate the beautiful Bear Pope livery at the same time.
Exactly.
We do love a Bear Pope.
I like the Bear Pope livery. It's
Yeah, I do too.
It's one of my favs.
Jono said, would we ever do multi-class in the future?
We can do, but I think
maybe.
everyone's enjoying the GTs. So we can certainly take that into account. Right, for me, this... Okay, so for me, this is a level 3. And I'll tell you why, okay?
Please do.
So, they're all coming down to the corners. Everybody knows their braking marker, and we can have a check of where Stefan's braking marker is. But he's blatantly just tried to dive around and not made the corner, completely not made the corner, went across the track and hit a car. There was no way going to make that corner at that closing speed from where we're at. Now, in the letter of the law, stage 3, penalty can be awarded for driving reckless, such as rejoining the track in an unsafe manner, brake checking, causing a collision due to attempting to drive an excessively damaged car, or going late into a corner and causing a collision. So that, for me, is what this is.
Where does he brake?
Slow it down even more. No. It's going to be round here, isn't it?
So he's braking in plenty of time. Late, but at the right point to make a move. Does he lift off? Does he brake and then lift off? Braking. It's almost like he's at like 20% brake pressure.
Okay, probably a little bit hard for level 3.
By this point, you would expect him to have the anchors absolutely smashed on to try and avoid the upcoming incident.
You can see
I mean, he's obviously gone all the way across the track there because he knows a crash is incoming.
The only mitigating for me is, one, again, it's a rookie, so they're prone to making the mistakes, but I don't think that gives you the right to do this. If you're on the opening lap, the tyres are cold, everyone's going to be naturally slower. So therefore, you've just got to respect the drivers around you. Yeah, okay, you can make a yeet for it, but be aware that if you do make a yeet for it, you need to make sure that you make the corner. Because this is why that level 3 rule is in there. Because if Paul was slightly a bit further forward, you would have T-boned him and taken yourself out and him out, and that's, to me, that's the reason why that rule's in there. Because if you're coming down here, if he was here now, you had nowhere to go. There was not a chance in hell that you were going to stop that car going into that corner. You were literally going to go across there where you were. So that's, to me, although Paul got away with it, I think, with just can we see it from the front? Let's have a look from the front. Now, if you had made that corner, that was a perfect move. But the problem is, the reason why you were able to take these two cars is, I think the speed was a bit too much, and you went across, so it's probably need it around the other way, don't we?
Thing is, he wouldn't have made the other corner. He was never going to make the left-hander.
I mean, if you made this corner, he would have made the other one, but he just didn't make the other one, and basically, it was just lucky. I think it was just fortunate that that Paul was just that little bit further back. If he was a little bit further forward, then
Nils Erik Isaacson said that the racing line is over the grass. No. It's not all four wheels the other side of the white line. I can guarantee that.
I've got no problem. I'm going to say now, I've got no problem with this move if he had made this corner. The problem that I have, and this is what we're trying to eradicate, is that people overextend themselves in the corner. I understand that people want to make a move, and this is the prime spot to make the move. But you got to make the move sort of safely for you, and obviously have respect for the other drivers around you, in my eyes. And this sort of move, I mean, completely blew past that car, and then tried to blow past this car, but unfortunately didn't make the corner, so therefore hit into the car that he was trying to make. So that for me, why that is a reckless move, because there's not a chance you're going to stop that car. Now, if he had come down here, so if we take it slowly, he's made a move on the BM, he's coming up next to the Porsche, there is an opportunity there. Now, if he had slowed his car down, because obviously Paul would have seen him coming up on the inside and managed, so if I paused it there, we'll just come back a bit here. If he managed to get his car turned and then go around here, I don't know if that's is that an off track? I don't know actually.
Yeah, that would be.
You know.
Yeah, iRacing defines it as the white line, right?
I think so, isn't it?
So it's always defined by the white line, or like that's what I've ever known.
Isn't it in here?
Yeah, it should be. You're allowed to be over the white line as much as possible, but you can't go any further than the right wheels. The right hand wheels in this corner must stay on the track.
I thought it.
You probably even got a slowdown for that.
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
Well, like I was saying, I probably wouldn't have even had a problem with him if he had managed to make this corner, because Paul was naturally going to go out this way anyway to cut the inside, and then carried on and went round this corner. The issue here for me is he's overextended himself going into the corner. There's not a chance he was going to stop that car, and basically went right across the track. Now, people may be saying, I'm not sure, I'm not really looking at I try not to look at the chat that too often to sway my decision, is that if this was closer racing in front and a driver did this, and I actually saw it in one of the ARL leagues I commentated on, and it was in Hockenheim, and it was the Mercedes corner. Somebody did exactly the same of this and literally took half the field out by going across the track. Now, this doesn't look bad, and people may be thinking, why is it a level 3? Because he's literally, just because he's not taking half the field out, that's reckless, in my eyes anyway, that he couldn't stop the car and basically went across the track. It's not reckless in the fact that he meant to do it, it's reckless in the fact that he tried to overextend himself on the first lap. The tyres are cold with the new tyre model. Everyone knows it. We've done 3 rounds so far, or 2 rounds before this, and obviously probably done multiple races. Is that, yeah, probably doing that move on the opening lap when your tyres are not warm is probably a bit ambitious. But I don't know. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, lap. Yeah, it's. What class is this driver?
Rookie.
It's a rookie. Thing is, as well, you got to think that PJC isn't going to be necessarily thinking a car's coming up on his inside there. I mean, that would be, even for an experienced driver, you would avoid that at the very last second, unless you really had looked in your mirror just before going into the corner. But at the lower iRating level, you don't tend to be able to have that. That sort of awareness around you all the time.
I think Stefan was an exocet missile. Just literally flew across there.
Yeah, it's reckless driving, unfortunately. It really is. It's just not.
Guys, just bear in mind as well.
He's coming there so fast as well, hasn't he?
Yeah,
I mean, bloody hell.
It was just no way he was going to stop. You know, if you're going to make these sort of moves, you've got to try to make him stick, because if you don't make it stick, then that's where you're putting yourself in this compromising position where you could be getting a big penalty because you've blatantly not made the corner and literally just gone right across the track. Now, it's like I said, if Paul was a little bit further on, then basically you could have T-boned him and taken him out of the race, and that would have been his race. And you got to bear in mind as well, there are hour and 10 races, so there's plenty of time to make the positions up in a safe manner. I mean, certainly down here where you get the strong strip sleeve. The next lap might have been better because your tyres might have been warmed and the brakes have been warmed, and you could possibly have done that. I just think the opening lap was a bit too eager, should we say.
By the letter of the law, it's a level 3.
Yeah. Like I say, guys, you can obviously put in a redress, I suppose. Okay, so we got bloody hell. This is an Olympus Esports livery, because this is Torben on Scott Mokes. And what's he said here? Let's have a read.
Dean will be happy. You'll get to see the livery again.
He will. He loves the livery. Now, during a blue flag situation in turn 10A, 10B, Mr. Mokes, I like that, does not maneuver with proper care to allow for a safe pass. I maintained a decent iRacing line which leaving room for a safe pass, but Mr. Mokes fails to utilize the space and tags my right back bumper, sending me spinning. No real harm done, it just felt utterly careless and unnecessary for the moment. Let's have a look. Not 26.
I think that's the politest protest I've ever
It
heard.
is. You got to admire the Torben for that, haven't you? Mr. Mokes.
Savage said, "Who hasn't killed half the field at La Source?" It's normally at a Rouge. After you've hit the wall on the right and spun back across.
Yeah. Right. So it's lap.
When you're running an endurance setup with like one wing on the first lap.
Yeah.
Not speaking from experience there.
26. Here we go. So in fact, let's go 27 and then back it up. So, okay. Let's bring it back here. So where is? Oh, don't you just hate it when you do that? Let's have a look. So there's Robin in there over configure controls just up here.
Torben said he's actually reviewed this a couple of times and
Looks
thinks
like
it's a netcode.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. That looks like savage netcode. It's close
Jump to the side angle, mate.
Okay, boss.
Cheers, old bean. Sammy Talek said, "Laugh out loud, punted to Mars." To be fair, it probably was just the McLaren doing McLaren things.
Oh, you can
Ooh, it's weird, isn't it?
Look at that second one. That's quite impressive netcode, isn't it? That.
Ooh, is that netcode? Doesn't look like netcode.
Don't think it is. The second one definitely is. No, damage, yes. So that's a hit. Moving around.
That's a hit, yeah.
This is netcode. Oh, and then it pops back out. Look at that for netcode. Oh, that's quite impressive.
Yeah. He's just closing too quick on him.
I agree the second one's a netcode, but I think the
Second one's a netcode, but the first one isn't.
It's not, no, unfortunately. And this is the other side of the blue flag. Is the reason why we give that two straight rule is to make sure that both cars are safe, but then it's also the responsibility of the car behind to make sure that the passing move is done in a safe manner. I know why Scott was probably trying to get through there to stay up with the rest of the group, but probably slightly a tad aggressive, I think, coming through this bit. Now, it's naturally going to be slower because he's let all the cars in front go ahead. But now he's back on the racing line. That second netcode probably helped him out, actually.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's, you know, it's a contact, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Yeah.
I think Scott assumed that the rookie driver was going to stay out wider than he actually did, because the rookie does turn back in there. That's the line of the track. So, you know, the rookie has probably not even seen him at this point.
But I mean, obviously, he's off the racing line there because he's let all them drivers through. I mean, if we take it back, we can see how many drivers sort of right back. I think they all started catching him at the start of the corner, to be honest. So he's there, Sammy's there. If I remember right, that's Thomas. Then you got Daniel, and then you got Niels here. So these are the top 4 here that we're looking at. So he's obviously been caught by Thomas at the exit of the corner. And then if, in fact, let's just go on him. So this is a perfect example of how to do it properly. Now, he obviously came off the racing line to let the other driver through. Would have been going super slow. It's hard to judge what the time is between these two, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Because obviously what
it's really. Sorry,
down,
mate, go on.
He's coming down into the corner, isn't he? Obviously, car behind's flashing him, so he's decided to, you know what, I'm going to back out, let him through.
He's doing the right thing.
Yeah, Scott's
100%.
miles back from him at the moment, but because he's gone so slow here and broke really early to, because you can tell he's braking because his flames are on.
Yeah. I think he's done the right thing. He's then thought, I'm clear, because obviously the Porsche's closing at incredible pace at this point, and he does have the right of way. Not Scott, but the McLaren at this point.
Yeah.
Scott wasn't alongside properly and going into the corner, and he hit him.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, it's a penalty.
It is. Level 2.
Wrong place, wrong time. Exactly.
It is, and it's unfortunate that is, but you know, Torben's done the right thing here. He let all the cars through, got back onto the racing line. Scott wasn't within a second at this point because he was going slow. The second came out, but it's within a set of corners. And although I know sometimes it's frustrating as drivers, you want to get past the slower drivers because you're in a race. You've got to respect the other drivers and not try and sort of almost like barge your way through. I don't think it was meant with any intention. It was just
we didn't see a single thing like this from Scott all season 1.
No.
So he's not a malicious driver in any way, shape, or form.
No.
I just want to point out as well, the McLaren does exceptionally well here. Look, this is another good lesson. Play it, Andy.
Just play it back from here because I think this is a good example to everyone of how to properly do a blue flag.
Yeah.
Because he could have just fired the acceleration here and messed up all these other drivers. He's within a second. You can see he's slowed up because now the BMW just flies past him. So the BMW goes past him here. The other car is well over a second behind him, but he makes the decision now because he's flashing to say, do you know what, I'm going to brake here. So he broke all the way back there. He now got onto the racing line, and that's where Scott obviously caught him up there, and unfortunately tagged him through. So ideally,
This right here, look. This right here, that is what you do. If you spin and you're blocking the track, stay still. That allowed the car, was it a Bear Pope car? Yeah. Was it a Bear Pope car? Yeah. That allowed the Team Bear Pope car to make a decisive decision and actually go off the track. But if he'd gone to reverse off, the barefoot car would have hit him. You know what I mean? That's another big thing. If you make a mistake or you spin, then just stay still until there's a proper time for you to be able to get racing again.
Yeah, perfectly gave him the opportunity. You can see there, he's coming around here. Ian saw the car there, but that car does not move an inch. And this, just keep your foot on the brake. You can see here, there's no movement at all. He's keeping himself right. I'm staying here. You get yourself around me.
Yeah.
Car goes, and then he goes. Yeah, no, that is a good illustration actually of what to do.
And to answer your question, Dean, because iRacing does weird shit. That's the only way to answer that.
Right, okay. I think it was unfortunate that obviously he gave the space, got back onto the racing line, but was obviously a lot slower. But as we've always said, it's a responsibility of the car behind to make sure that you try and make the passer move. And I think what happened there is Scott came down, closing speed really fast on him, and he felt like he had no option to try to get down the inside of him, but unfortunately tagged the back end of Torben's car there. Okay, next one. Nicholas Gronstrom with Michael Cody. These two having a dig no, aren't they?
Yeah. But Torben did the exact right thing there, so I don't know if he's in the chat still, but bravo for doing what you did do there, so.
Yeah.
Just unfortunate that it ended that way.
Turn 4. My steering had damage, so I braked to let him pass on the inside. Oh, this is the one we watched the other one. So we've already reviewed this one. Yeah. So this is the one. We'll just show it again. So this is the one here where he tried to brake to let him pass, but got tagged. So
yeah.
We've already reviewed this one, but so yeah, we're just going to put this one as already reviewed. It said about trying to let him pass on the front, so already reviewed. And last but not least, it's Ian Hennebury on Michael Goff, lap 24.
Torben is there. Yeah, all good, mate.
Are you there? Alright, yeah. Lap 41, turn number 4. Okay. So going down the S's. Who's it against? Michael. Not 41. Okay, so no, nothing there. Probably the wrong lap again. Oh wait a minute, I'm 24. Sorry, it's me. Get the wrong one. I was looking at one. My bad. My bad. Lap 24, please. Thank you. Sorry, Ian, that was my bad, so I'll hold my hands up. Even us professionals get it wrong. Oh, that's an impressive slide. Around turn number 1. Ooh.
Good save.
Yeah. So easy to pile off into the wall, isn't it? So
we appear to be on lap 41 here. Protest is lap 24.
No, we're on lap 24. It's the last turn in a lap 24. I was just obviously just deciding to give the Bear Pope a little bit of airtime. Look, we have not the fact that I was looking at the one above for the wrong corner. Nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
I concur.
It's the last corner. Last turn of the lap. Oh, here we go. Here we go. See what happens.
This is a tough one.
Yeah, because you've left him an absolute mountain of room here. The car's now in front of you. Ooh, I think that might have been a little bit of netcode as well, possibly. Let's have a look. Slow it right down. Yeah, I think so. I think there would have been slight contact.
Yeah, agreed.
Look. Let's have a look from Chase. There you go. This would be the right one. Yeah, that's net cold. Look.
Yeah.
Slow it right down. He's in front now. No point there. Boom. As soon as you get net code, it just kicks you, doesn't it? So what I would say, a bit strange. Not sure, Ian, why you gave him so much room. Whether you were trying to facilitate the pass and it went slightly wrong. Let me just read it. So last turn out of 24, Michael was passing me on the final turn and drove into me like I wasn't there. I don't know if it matters, but I think that this contributes to steering damage I picked up going over a curb on the normal line later in the race that requires an extra pit stop. So I think it is net code, but I'm not.
There's going to be contact either way. Netcode or not, they were still going to hit him.
He was, but would it have been as severe? That's the thing, because whenever netcode's involved,
No, probably not.
It's more severe, because if you look, they're almost where the action is. Yeah, if he hits him there, then that's different. But you see the cars are now straightening up, and it's the netcode that makes it more pronounced. That's why it's super hard with the netcode when you got netcode involved. He's coming around here, so he's probably thinking, Michael's probably thinking, you're letting me pass here because you're so wide into turn number, the last corner. So
it's an incredibly hard one to call.
It is.
He still makes contacts and he still takes him off track. But
he does,
obviously
but he's showing.
Netcode makes it more severe. This is the trouble with netcode.
Yeah. If there's no netcode, I think there may be a slight bit of contact, but I don't think it would. My wife wants to come in and she doesn't want to be on camera, so I'll let you look at this one, mate, and then I'll be back in 2 seconds.
No worries. Oh, he's got a handy little cap to put over the screen. Yeah, I mean, as far as I can tell with this one, it's really tricky. It's either going to be a level 1 or it's netcode / racing incident. But I don't know. It's really this is a very, very hard one to call. Very hard. Personally, for me, I think it's a level 1. Personally, for me. So he's left plenty of room. The BMW was coming across. Yeah, I don't
even think it's that. I think that Michael's took this. I mean, if we just back it up, and this is the reason why I think it's probably a racing incident. is, if you look further back, look at Michael. So you got a pro-am and a rookie. So if you look here, it's closing in down. Is this for position or is this for a lap? So this is for position. I think that Michael, looking at the line that Ian's taking, if we just half speed it, he's going super wide. He's right on the outside. So Michael's probably thinking, okay, he's letting me through here. So I'm just going to take it, go down the inside here. He goes down, comes around, and Ian's still there. I think it's probably the fact that where Ian was here, and he stayed there for a long time before coming into the corner, that Michael thought that, okay, you're giving me the space to go, but then didn't back out fully all the way to let him pass, and then the incident.
But if you look at how the track narrows there, see, this is the beauty of this, right? Like, we don't necessarily agree at this point, but the track does narrow, so the car on the outside is actually still sort of maintaining his line. There's plenty of room on the right hand side there for the car on the inside to have lifted slightly, or just taken this inside line ever so slightly less, and still successfully made that pass no problem.
Not necessarily. I don't think so, because when you're going around this corner, you're naturally doing the speed anyway. Now, if a car here is a slower class, you're coming up like super quick on him. He's stayed out wide, and this is where the ambiguity comes in. This is why we try and make it that, and we've had like sort of the one before that we were looking at this as well. It's not a blue flag incident, but if you're coming into a corner like this, I suppose, and it's a fast corner, that. And you're like almost conceding the fact that you're going to let this pro-am driver through, which is what this pro-am driver, I feel, is thinking is happening here, because he's out here on the left-hand side and he stays out there and then comes in. So this driver here is probably thinking, do you know what, he's giving me the space here, so I'm going to go. And he goes down the inside. You can see here he's closing. It got to the inside line. Then by sort of here, he's now alongside him and in front of him. Because you could argue the fact that Ian could have moved slightly further out. I think it's made worse by the netcode, and that's why it's a hard one to call when there's netcode involved. Because if it wasn't for the netcode, okay, they might have touched, but it wouldn't be as severe as that, in my eyes.
No, I agree. Yeah, I agree. It's netcode is an absolute
bane.
You know what? Yeah, an absolute beastard when it comes to calling the instance. The thing is that if you had crew chief on or something, it would be saying car left, car left, car left, car left, car left, car left. Like he's not giving him space there. He's not on hard turn. He's not.
Well, he is, isn't he?
Well,
I mean, look at the turn on his wheel. He is on hard turn.
I can only look at it from my own perspective. If I was driving this, I would be sticking to the right-hand side of the track now.
What?
Even if I was passing a rookie, a pro, whatever. Well, I wouldn't be passing any pros. We know that. But if I was passing a rookie, I would be staying to the right-hand side of the track here. I wouldn't just assume that it's my line, and you know what I mean? And crew chief would be telling you that, or iRacing spotter would be telling you that the car's still there.
I'm just looking at it from like here is just where the netcode happens. You can see on the left hand side here, it's still.
That's the only mitigating factor. Basically, is the netcode.
Yeah, there's still this. There's still all this portion of the track on the outside. It's got hard lock on now. And then the netcode comes and pushes him further on. If we watch it just back here, if we slow it right down. So basically he's putting it on, he's putting more on, he's putting more lock on to try and hook that inside line. The netcode happens here, pushes him even further to the left. So I think if that netcode hadn't happened, he would have made it to come round more and wouldn't have come right across him, because I think what you're seeing is here, when we look at, if we look at it from on the far chase, is that he's a lot further over, but he's been pushed a lot further over from the netcode.
Just put it on regular chase, not even far chase. See, he hasn't taken enough curb on the inside in order for it to push the car out. Like I've driven Road Atlanta loads, and this corner, depending on how you take it, if you hit that inside curb enough, it will lighten the steering. You'll then naturally push out. But you can see by his steering angle, he is turning, not turning enough, and then tries to turn more. Oh, it's a bloody hard one to call. It makes it a lot harder because of the netcode, because they probably would have had a little bump, but he still should have. You know, and this is only in my opinion. I still think it's a level 1, just because he didn't give enough space to the car that would have been continually being told is on his left. You know,
Okay. All right, I'll yield to.
That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
You've driven a lot more than me. Got a lot more experience on track. It's just super hard, you know, with that.
It makes it so much harder with the netcode. But I know that if I was driving it, I would have stayed on the inside line a lot harder and not essentially squeezed the rookie driver out.
Okay, so a level 1. I'll concede to you saying a level 1.
Yeah, I mean, people might say I'm wrong in the chat, and by all means, that's what the protest against our protest is for. You know, if you don't agree, then we can put it to an independent panel, and they will decide. But from my own racing experience, I would say that's a level 1. You should have been a little bit more cautious and careful of a lower level driver.
I think it's a hard one. I think I've just had a look at the chat, and it's different in views. At something, he should have given the space. Something, it looks like the car was obviously trying to let him pass and do it. You know, it's a hard one to call. Yeah, I think there would have been contact made. Hard. I think there would have been contact made, but I don't think it would have been as severe as what it was showing, because whenever you get netcode, and we saw it with Scotty and Torben, that second netcode literally almost turned the car like 45 degrees.
Yeah.
It was a lot more savage than this netcode, but it did push both cars out to the outside of the track. So it's a hard one to call.
I agree with that. The netcode is a bastard in this one. You know, it does make it incredibly difficult to know what the end result of the contact would have been, but I still believe that contact was inevitable.
It would have been, but would it have been severe enough to cause any sort of damage? Right.
Damage, probably not, but it would have still pushed him off the track.
We don't. That for me, that's the $1 million question. That's why it's shit being a steward, as they say. Right, let's have a look at a few incidents. Let's have a bit of fun towards the end of the year. So I think we've just seen Outward's mishap. Let's have a look at Arias Yomantis. Oh wow, there's a.
Oh my good god! Go back.
What was that, Arias? Oh my god! Go watch that again. That is like, I can't even bother to turn my wheel anymore. Do you know what?
Can we go on board with Arias, please?
Yeah.
Arias Yomantis.
It must have had a hardware failure here, because.
Oh. Good god.
Oh man!
And that is probably what would happen. That's probably what would happen. It would just go black, and that would just be the end of your entire life.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, oh, yeah, no.
Oh, lovely Bear Pope livery being messed up. Look. Dreaded turn number 1. Oh, is our very own James Loxton. Oh, I missed this one as well. Oh, this would have been the instant where he was I think he was leading, and then he seemed to be halfway down. I couldn't find it. Oh, no. That's what you normally see, I think, from the first lap, isn't it? Nice one. Right, who we got here? Gordon. Oh, turn number 1 again. Oh, ooh, slightly got away, a bit of damage. Our very own Russ Fowler decided to take the alternate route and then decided not to. Ooh, that was close.
He's getting used to that Audi.
He is, isn't he? Got to give him that, I suppose. Alti Rudd, our new driver. Oh, turn number 6. Didn't even really mention that one, did we? It's turn number 7. That one coming up is more the treacherous one, I think. Oh, there's another one of him.
The guys are saying this is from the warm-up practice.
It's not. This is the race. I'm sure it's the race. It says the race. Oh, well.
Thomas Cope said, do we need someone to interview, by the way?
Not at the moment. I think it's late enough.
Yeah, with the technical difficulties we've had, we won't be doing an interview today.
I think so. Turn number 5. Mr. Scarrett getting it completely wrong. Don't know what happened to the livery, actually, on the BM. I did notice it was black. It might not have been updated in time, I suppose, but it will be. It certainly will be updated, Alexander, for the next race, that's for sure. So there's a turn 5. Arias again. Oh, he had a terrible day. Well, that was turn number 5, top of the hill. Stefan. Ooh. It's terrible, this track, isn't it? As soon as you lose it at that top bit, that's it, you're gone.
I think that's where everyone was asking for a bit more wing.
Yeah, I need some stability. Oh, nuts. Yeah, car's not even turning. Cars 0, wall 2. There's Gordon. I bet McLaren was a complete handful on this track, that was for sure. Oh, another one, Gordon. Turn number 5. Oh, see you later. Stop. It's always amazing you sat in that gyro. I remember I sat there and you're like willing the car to stop, in you. You're like, stop. Oh, turn 5. Oh, there's that curb. Oh, and then gets a nice little tap for his trouble. Oh, probably helped him out there, to be honest. Mr. Cody. Oh, man. Certainly, I don't think it was the Audi or the McLaren's day around this track.
I thought the McLaren would have been good round here.
I thought it would have been. But it's like you say, it's real twitchy. Oh. That's using the wall to your advantage, I think.
Just shows how sketchy of a track this one was, you know?
Yeah, it super is, isn't it? Nicholas just going for a picnic. Yeah, Simeon. Let's have a look at Simeon's. Oh, see you later. Turn number 7. That's that off-cambered one that you were saying, the 110 degrees.
Yeah.
Turning it.
Yeah. No, it's a tricky one, that. Because you think it's going to be a 90, but it just isn't.
Oh, what's he doing here? Does he realise he's missed his pit or something?
Checking out the net code.
Checking it out. Oh, turn 1. Oh.
Hard to know the braking marker for turn 1.
Oh, is this practice? Yeah, it is practice. Is this practice? I don't know if it's practice or a race, but it's entertaining anyway.
Oof.
Ooh. 10.
So what's coming up in the further schedule?
So obviously next week, not next week, this weekend you've got Sebring, so you can all have fun, getting really frustrated by people hitting you off after 8 hours in an LMP2. Or was that just us, mate? I don't know.
Yeah, we won't mention Sebring.
We will mention that bad boy. But yeah, they got that. The drivers have got a bit of a break. They can do that if they want. The following week, we've got our first of our 2-hour endurance around Road America. Classic track. Love that track. And very fitting for a 2-hour race around there. I think it's more attuned to the more endurance races. I think is Road America. So that should be a good one. And that's our last one on the American leg.
Yeah, and then we're hopping over to Europe.
Certainly are. To Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Historical layout. I prefer the historical layout than the GP and that stupid chicane. Ooh.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, no, Barcelona would be good. Looking forward to that.
But yeah, so there's a few incidents around the obvious corners. Turn number 5, turn number 1. And some more unorthodox ones around turn number 6. Oh, there's another one around turn 10A. There we go. But is this going to be a pit lane one? Oh, I've got to watch this one. Ooh. Yeah, that's a very unorthodox entry into the pit lane there, Michael. I think
you can make all the time.
I think it is practice, or it's the pit lanes, I think. But yeah, still entertaining, I suppose, at the end of the day, isn't it? So, but yeah, no, guys, that's going to be it for this pit stop. Plenty of action on the protest for us to go through. Probably lucky we didn't have an interview to do it. So obviously, again, we can't apologise enough for the beginning of the broadcast with the sound issues, but it looks like we've got a working method going forward, so we will certainly be using that instead of using OBS Ninja. And there's a tip for yourself: don't use OBS Ninja with a sound, because it seems doesn't work, or certainly doesn't work for our streams anyway.
Yeah, top tip.
But yeah, no, thanks again, guys, for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you in. It's really good to interact with you, and hopefully you get a lot of benefit out of these sessions as well. Not only for the fact of getting either justice or getting penalties, but also for the fact of highlighting some good driving practice and some bad driving practices as well. So, you know, from an educational point, certainly for the rookies, you know, to gain that level of experience is always a good one to be do. But we really appreciate it. And Tom, have you got any final words, mate?
Yeah, just want to say a big thank you to everybody for obviously joining us at Performance Link for the season. Looking forward to Road America. That will be an awesome track for the endurance event. We've had 3 fantastic rounds so far. Lots of good battling, racing, penalties, all that fun jazz. But yeah, no, thanks again for joining us, and don't forget to like, subscribe, all the normal YouTube rubbish. So I appreciate that a lot, guys. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Cheers for joining us, guys, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time for Road America for our first of our 2-hour endurance specials. So until then, good night, and thanks for joining us. See ya.